I want to share 4 magic phrases that will level up your leadership and transform your team starting tomorrow. Let's break them down. I think we all know that how you communicate and how you delegate as a leader is going to determine the performance that you get back from your team. So if you are seeing levels of underperformance and you're perpetually disappointed and frustrated with your team, all that's happening is your team, their behavior, their underperformance is a mirror reflecting back to you. Where do you have opportunity for growth and level up as a leader? As you start to grow and level up, you will see that reflected back in your team, slowly increasing their performance. So these 4 key phrases are my simple tips and tricks so that you can immediately start that level up and see your team reflect it back to you. The first phrase is help me understand. This is the single most powerful phrase in leadership. Let me give you an example of how to use this phrase. Your team member misses their KPI for the 2nd month in a row. What do you do when you have that one-on-one conversation with them? Do you come down on them? Do you start yelling at them? Or do you simply ask, genuinely ask, help me understand, because you know where the standard for these rules are. You know what your KPIs are, and yet you also know that you're falling below them. Help me understand why. What's powerful about help me understand is that it puts you and your teammate on the same side of the table. It's not me coming down on you. I'm asking for your help. We're collaborators here. We're on the same team because we want the same thing. We want you to perform at your best within this role. And if you're not doing that, help me understand, because my job as your coach is to level you up to meet the expectations of the role. So help me. What it does, it removes all the defensiveness, all the shutdown that comes from a team member knowing that they're underperforming. It puts you back on the same side of the table and allows you to start to co-create a game plan that is going to manage them back up to their KPIs and standards. So help me understand. That is the first magical phrase, and I use it all the time. The second key phrase, what do you think we should do? So when would I use this? If a team member is coming to me and saying, Jonna, I'm stuck. I don't know how to solve this problem. I don't know what to do. Okay, great. I, as a leader, have 2 choices. I can tell you the right answer. I know the right answer. I can tell you the right answer. I can just give it to you. Or I can keep the ownership with you. I can reflect back to you that it is your job to figure this out. And I'm here as a coach to support you in figuring it out. What I am not is a magic vending machine that is going to spit out the answer every time you ask a question. So when your team comes to you, where do I find this? How do I do this? I don't know what to do. What do you think we should do? What you're doing is you're putting the pressure back on them and forcing them to start getting creative and critical in how they solve their own problems. You are training their critical thinking skills. You are training their resourcefulness, because if they know that when they come to you, they're not just going to magically get an answer and then be able to walk away and implement that, but they are going to get a coach who levels them up and helps them get better at solving their own problems. Now, all of a sudden, your team is number 1, going to start coming to you with less problems and more solutions. And number 2, you will see over time, your team comes to you less and less. You are training them to solve their own problems, figure out their own role, overcome their own challenges, and all they get when they come to you is a coach who helps them get unstuck. What do you think we should do? How have you solved this before? What do you think we should try? What did you learn from the last time you solved this problem? Why did or didn't that work? Which brings me to hack number 3. This isn't a phrase so much as a tactical hack. If you are trying to level up your leadership, take a blank piece of paper, draw a line down the center, and as you go through the day-to-day of your business, I want you to, every time you ask a question, make a tally mark on one side. And every time you tell somebody a statement, make a tally mark on the other. Great leaders ask great questions. When my teammate comes to me wanting an answer, do I give them an answer, a statement, a directive? Do I tell them exactly what to do and send them on their way? Or do I ask a series of great questions that forces them to solve their own problem and level up. So if you want to immediately level up as a leader, start asking more questions. Take every statement that immediately pops into your brain that you really want to tell them the answer, and I immediately just want to tell you what to do, and reframe that into a question. The tally marks are just there for your accountability so that you can remember, you can start tracking and measuring how many questions to statements am I giving my team. I promise you, the more questions you ask, the faster you will see your team grow, level up, take ownership, take proactive action, and start solving their own problems. It is magic. And then hack number 4, you are what you do, not what you say. Again, this is more of a hack than a single phrase. This is an absolutely key thing to remember. We as leaders say things all the time like, you have full ownership for your role, or these are the core values of the business. Look, I put them on a shiny poster and I put them on the wall just for you. But when push comes to shove, your team is not paying attention to what you say. They are paying attention to what you do. So if you say that one of your core values is radical honesty, but then they see you lie to a client, your team learns that radical honesty is not actually a core value, and it's totally acceptable to lie to our clients. We as leaders are not measured by what we say. Our team does not pay attention to what we say. They pay attention to what we do. So this means that we as leaders have to lead by example. When it comes to core values, radical ownership, maximum accountability, proactive problem solving, all the things that you want out of your team, are you showing up? And number 1, displaying that yourself. Do you lead according to what you say and walk your own talk? Nothing will erode your culture and the respect that your team has for you than hypocrisy. So that's the first part. Are you embodying what you say? Do you reward and punish according to what you say? I can say that it is safe and totally acceptable to make mistakes. But then if my team member makes a mistake and I chew them out in Slack or on a public team meeting, my actions have told them that in fact, it is not okay at all that they make a mistake. And guess what? They will never try, take a risk, innovate ever again, because they will be worried not about what you say, but about what you do. So I have clients coming to me all the time saying, Jonna, I tell my team all the time, make mistakes, try things, innovate, try to solve your own problems. And I reflect back to them, what you say doesn't matter at all. I saw you chew out your team member the last time a ball was dropped. You do not get what you say, you get what you do. You get what you reward and you get what you punish. So if you want a team culture that embodies your core values, takes radical ownership, proactively solves problems, number 1, you cannot punish them for when they do these things and mistakes happen. And number 2, in fact, you need to actively, proactively reward them. Call them out on a team meeting, celebrate them, cheer them, and make sure that everybody else sees and knows that you are celebrating them for embodying the core values or for doing this thing. Actively reward the behavior that you want to see, and make sure that you don't accidentally punish them when they do what you say and it ends up costing you money. So these 4 leadership hacks help me understand you get on the same side as the table of your team and you work with them to level up. What do you think we should do? Keep the ownership on them always and make sure they are growing and leveling up through number 3, asking questions instead of giving statements. And then lastly, number 4, remembering that you are what you do as a leader, not what you say. If you turn around and apply these 4 leadership hacks to your team starting tomorrow, I guarantee you are going to start to see radical changes, radical level up from a team. And you're going to be coming back to me and saying, Jonna, what the hell happened? I didn't even know my team could perform like this. Who are these people? I know that because we see that again and again with the clients that we serve. So do yourself a favor, write these 4 things down, apply them tomorrow, and then drop me a comment when you see your team's performance absolutely transform. Good luck with it. If this was helpful, subscribe for more leadership and operational tricks on how you can level up and scale your business.